There's been a relatively steady stream of boats leaving the anchorage. It's been coming and going. I'm still waking up at my normal get up on a work day time. It's 5:30, so a bit of movement on the boat overnight, but still a very pleasant night's sleep. Got the generator going as I'm making breakfast. I wonder what was in the water up here. They've obviously got a bucket or similar deployed for into the boom to try and cut back on the rolling that they've certainly been doing with the forecast. I think we'll stay put today. Matthew's coming up tomorrow, so I want to be down tomorrow morning, and we'll head to probably Waitangi to pick him up. I've had some rain through, pretty windy. Certainly the decision to stay here I think has been a good idea. Tomorrow should be much calmer. The wind coming over the ridge. From that house up there. Leaving. Alright, all safely stowed around the other way. Makes it easier to put the cover on when we do and reach the inflation openings on this side. Our launch that was behind us is heading off. His anchor was just off our stern. It's 6:30, the wind's down, forecast has improved, so we're picking up Matthew probably late morning. It's 7 o'clock, sun's up, and anchor's coming up. Just check the engine cooling. Okay, we're ready to go. To go around these two islands and then turn to port and into, I think it's the Albert Channel. Oh, bye bye Oke Bay, I know we will be back. We're going to go inside the rock and around that headland. It's actually Shiwi Island. Here's Oke Bay reappearing, and we mistakenly took travelling light through here once. I had to lift the keel up. Not recommended. There's the rocks looking towards Cape Brett, which you can't see. There's WAKAWAKA Island appearing behind this next point. And that's a rafting point ahead, and around that pretty much into the Albert Channel. Off the starboard bow is Hat Island. There's a few rocks and things around here it pays to miss. Hat Island with WAKAWAKA Island in behind. Over that low saddle there is Oke Bay, and we walked over to this side of the ridge yesterday. There's your graffiti in there. This is WAKAWAKA Bay on WAKAWAKA Island, a large, very popular dock camp. The facilities provided is water. We need to go between these two islands here. The only breeze is on the nose. And looking back towards Oke Bay where we started off. We're now entering an extensive no anchoring zone in a, what I believe, vain attempt to control an exotic weed which has been at barrier for quite a few years, and despite no anchoring in a large portion of barrier, it's cropped up here in the Bay of Islands and down in the Hauraki Gulf. And I would think that a lot of that weed we saw yesterday is actually the stuff, so it gets blown around in strong winds and wave action. Right, that's Parapara Island, and you can actually anchor on this side of it but not the other. And looking across to Motoroa and the end of Waitangi, WAKAWAKA Island now, and another of the number of dock camping sites on the island. Over there is Omakiwi Cove, probably one of the most popular anchorages where we set out a cyclone in Travelling Light. Can't anchor there. There's a large inlet called Parakura Bay where I set out a cyclone 2 years ago on Catamaran 2. Can't anchor there. Can't anchor in any of these bays along here until the point that you can't see because the mast is in the way. There's 9 pin off Cape Waitangi, the northern end of the Bay of Islands. Right, this is a renowned anchorage. Way in the distance is Tapeka Point, then Roberton Island, Motoroa Island, good shelter between it, and Motakiki for boats to anchor and southerly westerly quarter winds. And looking out to the north, we have the islands of WAKAWAKA, high I think, and then Whaiwhairotoa. This is the south side of Parapara, and through the gap we can see WAKAWAKA. And here's looking back to Rafiti. Looking across to the first bay, one can anchor in heading to the west, although it's not very protected, as it faces the big gap between Roberton Island on the left and Motoroa Motoroa, I can never remember which one. Island on the right. And there's Tarpeka Point, just over the top of that power cat. A substantial number of boats will be anchored in this large inlet here. And around to the other side of those hills. Here's Roberton Island, and then looking out to the northern entrance of the Bay of Islands. Lagoon Bay is appearing. There's a walk to the top of that hill there, which is an old power site and a beautiful view. Lagoon Bay is named because there are 3 lagoons on the far side. The one furthest to the west is the most sheltered and beautiful. I'm sure it will fill up with boats as the day goes on. We can see Tarpeka Point, and on the left is the eastern side of Russell with quite a few boats anchored there. There's some moorings there too. On this side we can see a large number of boats anchored. There's a lovely house just here, and then from that gap around this way is dock, and then the rest of the island is privately owned. There's some other houses we'll probably see shortly. Here comes the old car ferry that's been converted into backpackers accommodation. And we actually had a Christmas function aboard that many years ago. Tarpeka Point in the distance. Oh, there's quite a few privately owned homes in this bay. We're coming up on Tarpeka Point, so it's an hour 40 since we raised anchor. And there is Eye here and behind. Waitangi slightly to the right, which is where we're heading for. It can look fairly fearsome here when there's a good northerly swell coming in, but we certainly don't have that at the moment. Over there is Russell, or Oke Bay. We have a mooring there. Next bay is full of moorings. Up that way is Opua. There's a channel up there. And a car ferry crosses just before you get to the marina itself. Awful lot of moorings up there. Now off our starboard beam is Kent Passage between the mainland and Motoroa Island. Up and behind where the dog leg is Tapuna Inlet, very nice and underpopulated, and if one turns hard to left you're heading towards Kerikeri. We're heading straight at Waitangi treaty grounds at the moment, doing a bit of a dog leg because there's a reef on what was our straight line course. It's clouded over and it's got a fairly damp feeling to it, although I don't think it's supposed to rain today. There's a sector light up here telling us we're not in the main channel. There's a lot of cruise ships come in, none today. Right, this is the Waitangi treaty grounds. There's flagpole, treaty house. So Treaty of Waitangi was signed here, and on Mum's side our forebears were here prior to the treaty. Waitangi Hotel, and we're going to be going around, there's a reef there, and anchoring into Oke Bay, or just off the bridge to Waitangi, and wait for Matthew to arrive. That's Paihia over there, and there's some islands. Here's the Waka house, and it gets hauled out on Waitangi Day every year to join with a fleet of other wakas. Oh, there's a catamaran coming out. There's a wharf on the Waitangi side. Right, we're anchored in Oke Bay. Here over there, Titi Marae here, Waitangi's in that direction. Oh, there's the Waitangi bridge, small marina. This is the old boat, the Boyd, which was Kelly Tarleton's museum. One of the staff stole all the gold coins from the wreck. They investigated in the Poor Knights. No, sorry, in the Three Kings off the top of New Zealand. And I think there's public access to this wharf when cruise boats aren't in, because Customs takes it over then. And kids of all ages have been known to jump off the bridge. We have launched a travelling light. There's a public ramp upstream, so brought her out and had to raise the mast out here.